Alright, hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to Podcast Prime Episode 4. I'm Blade Lord Cal, I'm your host. With me today we've got Nick3570. What's
Hello.
up, Nick? We've got Curse Cow, aka Achiri, or ex-Achiri. How are you, buddy?
Pretty good, man. How you doing?
And we've got Surreal Gaming's jungler, Krashy, ex-Complexity, Team Ruiner.
Don't go through the list. Don't go down the list. I don't want to talk the list of teams today.
Okay.
Too much.
So, what we've got on the agenda is honestly, I couldn't really think of much. So we've got the September preview stream that was held with Electric Leo and Fantas. So let me switch over to that. We'll just jump right into it. So we've got this September preview for Gotham Divided. Every September update improvement for GD is based on player feedback and making you feel more like a DC superhero or villain. So here's just a VOD to the live stream. You can see Fantas right here, looking incredibly attractive and young.
As usual, yeah.
So can we talk about something really quick though? Like, look at Leo.
Is it out?
He's 38. He doesn't look 38.
He could be 38. He looks ambiguous.
I don't see it. I see a guy in his young 30s. Like, at the oldest.
Asians just have that longevity.
Right? I don't
guess
know.
so,
yeah.
I hope I can look like that when I'm like 38. Anyway, let's go do the deployables overhaul. So as you guys can see on the stream, let me center this a little bit. The whole deployable area in the base got a huge facelift. So the way you kind of activate these is you walk over the one you want, and that'll give you the deployable. They said also that Tier 2 deployables have been removed from the game. So, what do you guys think about this whole walk over the power-up, receive power-up?
I think just at like first glance, it's gonna make the game seem a little bit more like fluid. Main reason being, like, someone who doesn't necessarily know what it is, they could walk over it on accident and then be like, oh, well, it just gave me something. Also, they said, like, from this picture here, the 3 purple ones are the camera ones, but they're probably going to consolidate it down to 1.
Right.
So it'll probably just be, like, the middle 3 with the outside 2 gone. So you'll probably just have, like, the 1 pad that has 3 cam charges on it or something like that, which I'm not sure how they'll do the timers for that one, but I guess that would be okay. I think the only issue that people are going to have with this one is like if someone's a complete total jerk, they could literally run over them. But
Yeah.
I don't think you'll see that happen too often. I
They,
think in terms of like a new player experience and just like smooth player experience, this is a pretty good change.
yeah, they showed
Yeah.
in the stream or whatever, like, you could, I don't know, you walk over them, but you have to, like, keep pressing T every time.
Yeah.
So, they'll probably work out a solution for that. But I interrupted you, Achiri. I'm gonna keep calling you Achiri. I don't want to call you
That's
Cal.
fine.
Alright.
That's my real name.
Yeah, go for it.
Anyone can call me Achiri. I was just gonna say, yeah, it's definitely nicer for new players. It's actually visually easier to see that those things are something when you get into the game. Like, I don't know if this was a thing for any of the rest of you, but when you first start playing Gotham Divided, like your first game on Gotham Divided, the deployables don't actually look like anything, particularly anything that's interactable. So this is very obviously interactable. It lets a new player like get right into the thick of things, and it's not as complicated as the system was before. So definitely better for new players. I don't know if I care that much about tier 2s being removed. It obviously changes the game a whole lot, but ultimately, I don't know. It should be pretty much the same. I'm interested to see. They said there's going to be another deployable drop on the buff itself, in addition to the one that drops in the base. So I'm interested to see if that affects early lane phase like a whole lot or not. Like if you always see a deployable right away, like level 2 in mid lane. Might be interesting.
I think you'll probably see it either mid or top. I mean it's gonna be. I mean I
You
guess you
might
could throw
always see people start health as well, like never start speed
I
anymore.
know.
Yeah.
That's speed gank level 2. It'd be insane.
I mean it could be. Yeah, you could
Start Doomsday, start that. You're probably dead if you push up.
because I mean yeah that's the advantage of potentially like having like I don't know like say for example like he said starting Doomsday level 1 at his camp on speed and then having that drop instantaneously gives you more of an option as opposed to having a drop that just sits in the base, which you will have as well. So I think I was a little sad to see tier 2s go, but they were pretty strong. And I think overall, like the way I was talking to Fantas about it, like overall, it's just like it's a mechanic that's hard to teach to new people because you have to teach them these drops in the first place, and then you have to explain to them with only text, pretty much, with only words, that you can actually not pick it up and then get it again, and then there's something for that. And I think visually it was hard to tell, like in the base, sometimes people didn't realize that it had that little spinning thing going around it. That means you had a T2. So I think ultimately, in terms of like just making the player experience like more understood and a little bit better, this is a good change, but I'm not sure if I don't know. This is one of those ones that I really just want to get my hands on to see.
I think the biggest change about this whole deployable system overhaul is the EMP. So the EMPs are no longer in the top and bottom. The top and bottom camps are now nerfed Raider camps, but the EMPs drop from, I believe, Raider and Leviathan now. But Leviathan also has that stronger meteor. If I remember right, they said they doubled or they increased the damage on it, but halved the time.
Yeah, so it's the same amount of damage, but it
damage.
comes out quicker.
Right.
Yeah.
And it also has a slow on it, so it's kind of like a zoning tool. It's like a Rumble Ultimate from League.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that'll be really interesting to see.
Yeah. I think that them getting rid of stasis as well was kind of a good move. Stasis, like, if you were really coordinated, you could pull it off. But at the same time, if you think about it, it's also amazingly effective. It's like you already got the other stuff from Leviathan. Like Leviathan giving a 10-second shield or whatever for your whole team, I think that's really good enough.
Yeah.
Now you have like a better version of the Meteor, which, like you said, is a pretty good zoning tool. You can actually siege down a turret by like pushing them off of it and then kind of stepping forward. And so Stasis was kind of just like that little bit of overkill. So them changing that out with the EMP, I think, was a pretty good move, like just in terms of like balance.
Right.
And now that they made Leviathan also easier to kill, I think it'll actually be.
So yeah, when you scroll down, I think it says Leviathan is attack armor reduced, power armor reduced, health base So obviously this means in September Poison Ivy is going to become the new OP.
Yeah.
Or they're adding more champions with blinds.
Bum bum bum.
There's the speculation.
The change of the EMP from the destroyer camps in the lane to the like giant, I don't know what they're called, like the legendary camps.
Cameras. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the change.
legendary camps.
Yeah, the movement of the EMP itself is like really good for game flow, I think. Just not even in terms of balance, just right now people are getting a ton of early EMPs, and you'll see one team with like 2 tier 2 EMPs and the other team with 1 tier 2 EMP, and neither of them can use it for anything at all. And it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of silly right now. It's not that it's bad necessarily, but it looks really silly, that's for sure. And it's just not going to happen that way anymore. So by the time you can actually secure an EMP, you're going to be strong enough and like positioned well enough to actually use it, which is good for game flow. And at the same time, the new surveillance camera on Destroyer Camp is going to make for some really interesting gameplay, I think. I'm really excited for how the early game is going to look now. Because I felt, even though the EMPs were contested early, the fact that they were kind of useless early meant, like, to me, it's not a big deal if you lose those early engagements, you lose the EMPs. I was like, all right, whatever. Like, the early game doesn't matter that much in this game, to me, to be honest. But now, it could mean a lot more.
I feel like just with the early sat towers now, you're going to see pretty much no ganks on lane for whoever gets that tower. Because they can just, like, put it... I think
that's not necessarily true, though, because it's actually
lane.
really small. Like, it's going to be really small, and it's lasting 5 minutes, which is a pretty good amount of time. But, like, if I do try to gank and I find it because they put it somewhere where they actually can see, you know, a good amount over the lane, then I at least know it's there. You know what I mean? So if you put it like behind a wall on your side, like that ain't, it's not going to give you any vision. Like you're going to get a little bit of vision. It's like, I don't know, like think about where that wall is that has the car right on top side, like going from, I don't say your elite camp in the jungle or your, you know, your destroyer camp in the jungle to top lane. You know where that one car is? It's like right next to Raider or Leviathan. If you put it like right outside of that, you would get vision of like right outside of that, and then not much more. So yeah, you could maybe see someone coming up to your lane, and that would be good. But I think if you put it anywhere else, like I don't know, you're not going to get that much vision off of it.
I think the thing to do is going to be to position it in weird, aggressive places, kind of like
that's what I was thinking.
Pink wards in League of Legends, and it's gonna be really helpful, really useful, but it's not the same as the surveillance tower was before.
Yeah, no, I'm just glad that they nerfed the health down to 5, just because 10 basic attacks is a lot.
Yeah, it was a struggle. It was a struggle to have to get to it when they can see you and then take it down. So, I agree. That's going to be a lot better. The other thing is like it kept it to range too. Yeah, so you can definitely use it aggressive. That's going to be the interesting part.
I was just going to say that 5 seems good to me, but at the same time, Flash can like one shot it now, like auto W.
Yeah, pretty much.
It takes Wonder Woman 3 hits. So maybe if it was 5, but they like took away the interaction with the abilities, I'd like that.
That's one of the problems I have with Wonder Woman. They took away Gascat's ability to do 2 damage in 1 hit with on wards and all that. But when you pop Wonder Woman's E, she still does double damage to wards. It's kind of annoying.
I still want 80 Wonder Woman back.
Wonder Woman was amazing.
80 Wonder Woman was amazing.
I used to go her mid when there was no drone aggro. It was amazing.
Dude, I used to play that when she was AD on Coast City. Oh, back in the day. Alright, so...
Well, I might have missed what they said this, but is the placement range still the same for the surveillance towers?
Yeah, the placement range is exactly the same. So you can still play. Yeah, you can still place it like really far across the map, And that's why I think it'll make for some really aggressive play, because if you use them defensively, yeah, you've got yourself a little bit of time to stay defensive. But if you use them offensively, like, say I put it in the bush right on above my enemy's region camp, yeah, the likelihood that they might find that, yeah, it's there. But at the same time, whenever they are going to their top jungle at level 4, I'm going to know it. You know what I mean? It's going to give me room to potentially set up a gank or a counter gank or a counter jungle. So I think early it's going to have more effect on junglers than it is on lane, to be completely honest. And that's cool. That's really cool, because that could change everything. That could keep you safer in lane, essentially, because you're going to have that information that you need. So, we'll just have to see.
We can talk about the speed drop change. So if you drop a speed deployable on someone's head, it's not going to do damage anymore, but it's going to apply a 50% slow that lasts for 3 seconds on them. I don't know. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
It also kind of makes sense.
I wish they'd keep the damage.
It's cute.
I mean,
don't know. It's not a big thing.
it's kind of gimmicky. Like, when I asked
but it's so
Fantasy
fun.
about it, I don't mind the damage. Like, I would rather it just be consistent for all drops and just do true damage for all of them, to be completely honest, because that's what they do. You know what I mean? Like, think about when you have a drop on you and you're not executing it for the sake of whatever it is, you're using it for that true damage, and that's cool.
Yeah.
So when I asked Fantas about it, he was like, "Oh, well, we want the speed to be used more offensively," and I was just like, like in my head, like dropping it on someone's head doing damage, that's pretty offensive.
Yeah.
But I guess they want you to drop it on them, slow them, use it, speed up to them, and hit them.
Right.
Which, like, in theory, yeah, you could probably pull that off. It's not going to happen that often. So I think what all it's doing, basically, is denying damage on speed drops. So I don't really know. It's
still pretty
is.
difficult to hit someone with a speed.
Yeah. Maybe they could, like, keep the damage, but maybe reduce some of the slow. Because 50% for 3 seconds is a lot. And I don't remember how much the speed gives, but you could close that gap pretty quickly. So I'd like to see like a reduction on the damage, and then just like damage on the deployable, or reduction on the slow, damage on the deployable, because killing people with drops is always super fun and exciting. Plus it also kind of keeps the what's it called? It just keeps it in line with like the other deployables. Like if I'm a new player and I'm like, hey, I have the speed deployable, the other deployables do damage when I drop it on someone, this should do damage when I drop it on someone, right? So like if I'm trying to snipe them as a new player, then like I don't get the kill, I'm like, wait, what? It should have killed him.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's going to be some times when I have a speed on me and I try to execute someone with it and I'm like, oh, I just slowed him. Like, oops. I don't know. I don't think it's one of those things. I don't think it's going to affect gameplay that much, but it is just there now. Yeah, it's just there. Whatever. Like, I really don't think I'll ever hold on to it knowing I'm going to slow somebody. That's how I think of it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm never going to do that. I would, if anything, I would drop it before me so I could gank them.
Yeah.
So, I don't know,
Peter Platinum in the chat was asking how, I guess, how we felt about the changes to the surveillance cameras and how they're in the side lanes. And he's thinking that it would lead to more importance for the mid lane. And I think it's actually the opposite. I think you're going to see like it'd be more dangerous in the side lanes while the destroyer camp is up. Like you're going to see crazy like 4 or 5 man ganks in one lane, just because the side lanes are going to be so important. And you're definitely going to want more people in your side lanes, just as a regular thing. And like Krashy was saying a lot, I don't think the surveillance camera is going to be a huge defensive boon. It's going to be better if you place it aggressively.
Yeah,
sure.
And the other thing is, like, here's another thing that I don't know if was actually said or not. It took a little bit of talking, like, in this Skype group that we're in to kind of figure out. But one, we got Fantas to take screenshots. I might need to go find them, because this is not something that I think... this isn't, like, confidential or anything. We got Fantas to take a screenshot of the camps that are right above mid. You know, the ones, like, right above mid to, like, the left and the right?
Yeah.
If you put a surveillance camera right there, you can't see jack shit. Like, it does not reach far enough to see anything. So, it's not going to defend mid that much. And that's good because you don't want to just hide a cam there. The other thing, this is the big thing, the surveillance cameras cannot be stealth in a bush. They're just not stealth.
Oh,
Yeah, they're not.
really?
They're not stealth. Yeah, they're not stealth anymore. So when
That's
you
weird.
put them in a bush, the other people are gonna see it. And Fantas was like, honestly, the best place to put a surveillance camera to cover mid is literally in the mid bush right there, because yeah, it's gonna give you a little bit of, it's gonna give you time, and you can always kind of dance with your enemies to keep them from hitting it. You know what I mean? So if you wanted to use it on mid, you might as well just put it on mid.
I'm gonna put mine in my enemy like regen camp or somewhere, like in their
Yeah.
buff.
Exactly. Like you're gonna, the thing about the surveillance cameras is that they're gonna be seen. Like it's not gonna be like a, oh, I don't know where it is, even if it doesn't give that much range. Like you're gonna see them. They're not gonna give that much vision anyways, and you're gonna be able to actually kill them now. So I think it's really not gonna affect in a negative way. It's not gonna be a turtle aspect. I think if anything, like anyone who's not using them aggressively to try to find out things with the little bit that they've earned from getting it, you're probably not gonna be using it right. So. Like exactly like what Achiri said, like throw it in the middle of their jungle, see what you can find out. You know, I don't know. That's what I think will be used the best, or literally throw it right above your lane, and then now you got a little bit of vision on mid for a couple minutes because it'll probably get killed.
Yeah.
So
So they're nerfing base cams a little bit. Cast range on base cams reduced from 600 to 500. Bringing base cams more in line with stolen powers. Base cams now have a fade out interval, so they will be visible and attackable for 2 seconds before stealthing.
I don't really
2
like
seconds
that.
is a long time.
2 seconds is a long
A really
time.
long time.
So basically, your stealth cams or your base cams are going to not be the ones that you place in the early game.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to actually, they might not even be the ones you place aggressively,
Like
Which
half the time they already
is-
get killed instantly when you place
Yeah.
them anyway.
which sucks
Because someone's
because
just
those are
sitting
the
in that
ones.
bush.
Those are the ones that go at range. So I guess those are going to be the ones you hang on to and place back, like above you, behind your lane, or in your own try, I guess. Which I guess, I mean, if you really think about it, I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference,
Right.
but it's not necessarily a good change.
Yeah, a lot of the
You
early...
might see.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say you might see like one additional face check a game.
Yeah.
One additional face check is still a lot of face checks.
It could be that one that matters.
Yeah.
Good.
So, they're also making the drones spawn at the dampeners now, allowing them to march into lanes faster. Their power also caps out at level 20 or at the 30-minute match mark, and we're making it easier for controllers and enforcers to clear drone waves in the late game. So the drone spawning at the dampeners is actually really interesting to me, and Fantas was showing it off how if your mid dampener is down, your drones will still march forward from that dampener, but if they're super drones on your power core, only the mid one will defend both power core turrets, or
And
they're
that's
on your
only if one of the turrets, that's only if both of the turrets are still up,
Yeah.
too. Once they take out one of them, the drones are going to be too far forward where they don't aggro.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that bothers me about this.
Well, I think that's only for the side lanes. Because I think
It's just for the mid lane, though.
Mid lane gets both if they're both still up. I don't know about
Yeah.
both still down.
I think he was talking about if top side, they'll only defend it.
Yeah,
if
top
the
side
drones
only
are-
defends top.
Yeah.
The top one, and the bottom one only defends the bottom one.
Okay. I don't know. I guess it's just something I'm going to need to take a look at. I like the idea of moving them up for the the pace of the game. That makes sense. I'm really pleased with that. But if it affects ending the game and how the minions interact in the base, if it gets funky in there, then I don't know. We'll just have to see. But it was kind of annoying to be pushing into a base and then this huge minion wave spawns and now you have to deal with that. But I don't know. I guess that wasn't really that big of an issue. So
I think. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm interested to know about the drone scaling, if that's gonna affect things adversely and actually counter affect what they're trying to achieve. Because if it's easier to clear a wave, it might become really easy to stop a siege. Because at the moment, believe it or not, an elite drone does as much damage to a turret in a siege as anyone else, pretty much. like in fairly even sieges, unless one team is quite far ahead. If both teams are like very more or less even, then the elite drone is doing work on the tower. And if you can clear waves really easily, like we saw in last Saturday in Brawl against C, then they had Joker Prime and Mecha Superman and just like a really good comp for defending a tower. You're just gonna see people like instant clear waves and then just AFK under their tower, and it's gonna be really hard to kill them. You have to walk under their tower without drones in order to do something to them.
Yeah, that might not be the way that it's gonna. I don't know. It might not do what it's supposed to do. Because I mean, I think there are definitely some champions now that already have like a lot of wave clear. Like look at Star Sapphire. Her wave clear is pretty ridiculous. Like Star Sapphire. Okay, and the other thing is like there are some comps that are just really hard to end against. Like I don't remember who we played. I think it was. I want to say it was Curse. Yeah, it was Curse. They had Wonder Woman mid, and then they had Fat Joker top. And oh my god, it was so hard to siege against that team. So now if those champions...
Wonder Woman Prime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I casted that game. That was last weekend, right?
Yeah. But the thing, I don't remember if it was the Saturday finals or like the monthly finals or if it was the Sunday. I really don't remember.
If I casted, then it was Sunday.
Oh yeah, that's right. I guess so. So, I don't, like if those champions, those enforcers are going to have an easier time clearing those waves and it's already just so hard to siege against them, like... Eesh. The other thing is like now technically EMPs are nerfed. Technically, I mean not really because they went down from what 6 seconds to 5 seconds or
yeah.
So I guess technically, and they're still the same amount of hits. So I guess it's just going to make those more relevant to ending, which is fine because like if you're playing the passive game and you're already ahead, you can kind of take your time and get them and end anyways. But we'll see.
Technically, with them harder to get, you technically get more EMP time because if you can do Levy and you can do Raider, you have 10 seconds of EMP. Sure, it's
What's
harder
Levy
to
respawn time though? Levy respawn time is really long.
Yeah,
I think it's 5 minutes.
Is it? Are you sure? I think it's longer.
It might be like 7.
Yeah, it's really long.
Yeah, but it's also you're also going to be able to do it a lot earlier now.
Yeah.
And since they instantly spawn at 20 minutes.
I think the thing is that it's not going to be the same pace of the game that we're all expecting. Like I think you'll be able to take more in the early game, and then you'll have to kind of slow it down in the late game, and then kind of siege really hard. So like you'll be able
to do less early game.
You think? I mean, if you can.
EMPs.
Well,
like,
I mean, but if you're able to get, I guess mid game, if you're able to get, like if you're able to push an advantage. Like, say you do the same thing that happens now. Like, you do a gank or you do a big team fight and you get a few kills and then you go for Raider. Well, now you can actually probably do that and go get Levy. And now that you have some of those Levy powers, you might be able to take more, even though you only have that one EMP, because you're going to be able to fight under a turret by zoning them off with the Meteor and using your 10-second shield. So we might see Levies become more, or we're definitely going to see them become more relevant, but we might see them killed a lot more often because if you're killing it, say at like the 22-minute mark, then it's going to be back by 30 minutes at least, Granted, obviously it's not going to take that long. Right. So that means then if you have a good advantage at that point, or you can team fight again and then that team go for it again, you know what I mean? So I think we're actually going to see what's good is Leviathan's going to be relevant. You can actually do it and you're going to want to do it because there's something you need from it and there's things that you might as well get from it since you're there. Right. And that's good. But you're also going to be able to do that a little bit earlier. So I don't know. Depending on like how far you're pushing your lead, you could, fight, take it, push, or you could fight, lose, they take it, push, or later on you're gonna fight, they're gonna turn the fight around, and then they're gonna get it. Now that's swayed in their direction. So I think in terms of just not snowballing out of control, the Leviathan change and the EMP change is really, really good. Now that we don't have a huge cam defending it.
Right. So are we all done with the EMP Levy wave clear stuff?
Yeah. One thing they didn't know in this September preview on the news section of the website, I'm pretty sure in the forums they said that you were going to be able to just kill enemy deployables, like even like health drops and all that.
Oh yeah.
So I feel like that's a pretty big change that they just left out.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a thing?
They said It was gonna have health. Yeah, I remember that. I don't remember where I saw that, but they did say it was gonna have health, like in the way that like a tier 2 has health right now.
Yeah.
Shoot it down.
Let me see if I can find it, because I know the EMP tier 1 has the
Facts
rebate.
confirmed denied. Facts confirmed denied.
Yeah, health and
Facts
speed
confirmed.
deployables are now attackable in the forums.
Oh. Car confirmed.
Car confirmed. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. I guess that's okay because there's more of them,
Right.
and so like if you like say you get super aggro and you throw one in the middle of your lane to try to do some damage, well now you better use it because.
Yeah.
So I guess I don't know. With the speeds, it's not as relevant because I don't know. You really only use it maybe like once or twice,
Yeah.
but now you might only be able to use it like once. So I guess that's okay.
I like it because it kind of provides counterplay and also
A little bit of counterplay to it.
it
Yeah.
also incentivizes like putting your health deployable
Like under your turret.
in a good
That's what I was
place.
gonna say.
Because
I
right
kind
now
of drop it wherever.
you can just like what do I want to do with it? I'll just drop it in the middle of the lane, and
It's always weird because I kind of expected when they first announced the deployables that I would be able to pick it up.
Exactly.
like walk over your enemies and take it and be like,
Yeah.
yeah, what up? But
Like
I guess now you can
that's
skill
what
it.
I've wanted for the like entirety of, as soon as like I saw deployables, like
Yeah.
I just want to pick up my enemies because I want to punish their really bad positioning of it.
I mean, I guess that's kind of what this does, only now we don't get an extra bonus. I wonder if it gives gold. Probably not.
No, it's necessarily. Like, if you
Maybe
drop
like
it in the middle of
five.
the lane and your teammate's
It's kinda
really
your
pushed
fault.
up, yeah, but if you're really pushed up, then obviously you don't want to walk back to all the way to your tower to.
Well,
Get
like
the
what
health.
if you need
But
to
that's
buy
the
something?
risk of it now. Yeah, but that's the risk of it now is that if you do drop it kind of forward in your lane, it's not that hard to get rid of. I don't know. I really don't think it's going to hurt it that much. I think if anything, it's going to provide a small amount of counterplay that may have been needed. Like because it does just sit there.
Yeah.
I mean, again, like even having like that one health, and there also are more health drops, like the solo ones. So
Yeah.
with that could be a good counterplay to not just having a super boring mid lane. You know what I mean? Even though it's probably going to
Yep.
happen that way anyways, because you're going to drop them under turrets. But like now, I can get health, drop it mid for mid. Mid's going to be able to use that 3 times or whatever, and then I can go to base, pick up health, drop it mid. Mid's going to be able to use that 3 times. So at least now, if they do decide to use the aggro, it can be killed. So I'm fine with that. That's cool. I didn't know that was happening, but I'm cool with it.
I'm completely okay with it. I feel like the health deployable kind of needed some counterplay. Just like I said, because people would just like drop the health deployable willy-nilly, and it's like I can't punish you because you can just walk over at any time and I can't get rid of it.
I'm still worried about team fights, man. I'm not going to be carried by health 2 drops anymore.
Yeah.
Health 2
Those
is
things
so
are
good.
so good. People are going to realize that we're not actually really good at team fighting. Can't get away with it anymore.
You just regen a ton.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so another big change coming to the map is we're shortening the time that you spend running from base to battle. Base pads now boost your move speed by 45% when leaving your base. This boost fades over 6 seconds.
I love it.
I
I
love
love it. I love it. First of all,
Amazing.
it's a built-in home guard, which is always good because, hell, sometimes you need to rush to your dampener to try to save it or to make a play to turn the game around. Second of all, it is going to speed up the game. I'm not gonna feel that pressure because how many times have you seen somebody drop a speed deployable in your base just so you can get out faster? I do it. They're not
They
really
do
that
it
useful
every
for the
time.
game. Yeah, I mean they're pretty useful for ganks, like every now and then when you have a champion that can really utilize that speed boost to get to their enemy. But also, like, they're pretty good to get out of the base with, so now I don't have to do that. It lasts for a good amount of time. Like I saw in the preview, he ran pretty good amount, like, up to the lane, and it lasted
It's like
for a
6
while.
seconds.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
ran
so-
up to his
Like dampener,
turret.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, did he?
Or
Okay.
not to
So, yeah.
his mid dampener.
Yeah, I mean, it lasts a good amount of time to get you out of the base. I think overall, I'm excited to see where the game timelines lead because I know they're trying to increase the time of the games, but some aspects seem like it's going to slow it down, but other aspects seem like it's going to speed it up. So I just really want to see, like the minions are going to be going out faster and more often, or like closer. Champions are going to be running out more. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or like faster. I'm excited. I'm excited for this change.
Okay.
Did they confirm that they were going to increase death respawn
Yes.
timers?
Yeah,
Yes.
that is a thing.
Okay. As long
So
as
like,
they're doing that, then I'm okay with this change because I don't know, like home guards stop sieges, right?
Right.
Like, so
yeah,
I'd be concerned about the ability to siege on a team when they like have auto home guards.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Well, it's
I guess it
just
could be
the
okay. It's just
yeah.
I don't know.
It could be okay if the death timers like are effective, because basically I think it's going to come down to more of those team fights being really relevant. Because even now, like in the late game, you can team fight somebody and like one or two of them will come up, and if you're not already like hard like all five up taking everything, then they're going to be able to defend for a little bit longer.
Mhm.
You know, they're going to keep pushing that. If that was how it was now, and the drone waves are going to be easier to kill, then oh my god, home guard with easier drone waves to kill for like tanks and stuff would be ridiculous.
Mhm.
But I'm assuming that these death timers are going to actually be a little bit like long. So now
Yeah.
if you take out three people, you could probably end the game. You know what I
And
mean?
it's going to
Those
be
two.
about like killing people as opposed
Yeah.
to like sieging down a tower.
Yeah,
You're
you're not
gonna
going
have
to
to
want to
secure the
go in
kill.
and just take a bunch of towers and then leave, then go get EMPs, then go get Leviathan and come back and do it again. I think it's going to really lead to like it's going to get to the point where it's like, hey, we're stuck in our base. They're coming up to our dampener. Why not just try to team fight them? If we take out three of them, it's going to slow their push drastically. We might be able to go take a Leviathan and come back. Or it's going to be like, hey, we really need to take them out so we can end the game. So I think it could be pretty cool. But at the same time, I do see a lot of aspects that might actually slow down sieging. So, I don't know.
Question as well. Does that effect apply to teleport? So let's say
No,
I'm in the base.
they said it instantly goes off once you like teleport or do something like that. So you
That's it.
can't get like a free home guard to a camera in lane, have 6 seconds of ridiculous speed. Although that would be pretty cool. I'm sad, but whatever.
That would be really fun. That
It would be really cool, but come on,
Might
Yeah.
let's
be
not go down that road. I
Yeah.
guess Fantas foresaw what we would abuse, and
Yeah.
he took steps to not let that happen.
Well, I mean, you have a similar mechanic in League, and they let it go.
Yeah,
They're
but it
like,
costs money.
This
Yeah,
isn't
it costs
League,
money.
Cal.
Oh, my bad. So, I don't know.
This
He
isn't
probably just
League.
saw that it's like, yeah, we don't need this in our game.
Yeah, I
It's
guess so.
fine.
I
So
guess.
there's
It's unacceptable.
unacceptable. New event timeline. So they're kind of changing how the early game works. Turbine says, we're adjusting events at the start of a match to reduce early inactivity and balance early jungling from the top and bottom laners. By 5 minutes into Gotham Divided, with the exception of Leviathan, all strategic elements will have opened up to players. So, so for 1 minute, you have the pre-match, so that's when you're stuck in the base.
I don't understand why you're stuck in a base doing nothing for a minute.
I think it's just to give people, like, if they didn't connect, time to reconnect and like buy items and stuff. I don't know.
Like, it takes 5 seconds to buy items.
I don't know. Whatever. Whatever.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Like,
So I just
maybe if
give
you have to
people
use the
time to finish the game
bathroom
out.
really bad, you can let's say you're like in the loading screen. You're like, oh dude, I gotta go number 2. So you just go number 2 as fast as you
got
can.
that
You come
1
back.
minute.
Yeah, you got that 1 minute buffer to come
gosh.
back and buy your
Pressure's on.
yeah.
Pressure's on.
So
I mean, in League of Legends, the minions don't start spawning until a minute 30. Oh, are you guys just talking about like the time you spend in the base?
yeah.
Yes.
Behind the
Oh,
walls.
Right
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
They're actually
It's
doing
whatever.
something with the update to where you're stuck in the fountain for like 15-20 seconds, and then you get a home guard out. Or not
That's
a home guard, but like a reduced home guard out. To so you're in the areas that you want to be at roughly the same time. Their
That seems
justification was give people time to reconnect and stuff.
Yeah.
So at 0 seconds, match start. 30 seconds into the game, drones spawn. 50 seconds into the game, large creature camp spawn, regen/agile destroyer. 1 minute into the game, small creature camp spawn, tripod, scrapper, mauler. I still don't know which one's the scrapper and which one's the mauler.
The Maulers are the duo camp.
The Maulers, the duo.
The Maulers are the
Yeah.
ones that are
I
not
just
friendly.
Yeah, I just call them the ones. I just call them by their numbers. So
The
like,
big
Yeah.
fat one.
I'm at 3 camp. I'm at 4
Quads,
camp.
tries, trips, yeah.
Yeah. 3 minutes in, the destroyer camp spawn, top and bottom surveillance tower spawns, and 5 minutes phase pod impact raider. And does that open up automatically?
No, they said that you have the option to at 20 minutes. If it hasn't been opened, Raider automatically spawns on top,
And
Okay.
Leviathan.
and Leviathan
And
spawns
then
on
will be a
bottom.
bottom. Okay.
Yeah. Which I don't think we'll see a lot of because by 20 minutes, I don't know. Usually, there's been multiple Raiders taken.
Right.
So, I like this change, and I like this change for a couple of reasons. One, it doesn't I don't feel pressured to instantly go to a lane at level 2 to share my camps with another laner if I don't want to. You know what I mean? It like early game jungle is very transparent right now, and while that's okay, it's not the end of the world. You can't really pull off like a level 2 gank on mid without potentially losing something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You can't pull off like some elaborate jungle pattern and then gank bottom even though I started top or something. You know what I mean? So keeping me out of the lane or just keeping me out of the lane meta-wise is good because now I have more options to take to kind of like do something different if I wanted to. Also, like, I don't know. I think that there's going to be an interesting way to maximize your gold and your experience in jungle before 3 minutes to the point where when 3 minutes comes up, I don't necessarily have to be there at the lane, and also the other team's not going to know which lane I'm picking to go to. So I don't know. It could be interesting. I think it's going to make for more interesting plays in the early game for jungle, but ultimately I don't think it's going to change that much either. So
I think the reduction in jungle XP is gonna also alter that a lot.
Yeah.
Like especially the change in their in the delta. Like some camps are getting like 55% on the health and speed destroyer from their delta from 20 to 9. That's a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot.
So what I would have to say about this is the drones are spawning really fast. Like, wow, that's fast. 30 seconds. That means that if you want to go do something and then go back to base, it almost has to be on your side of the map because it takes 30 seconds to walk from base sort of to the middle of the lane. So
what if you just sit in fountain and get the home guard until
it's gonna be faster still to stand at the gate than it would be to stand in the fountain. So it's a little less than 30 seconds, but basically what it comes down to is you're not going to be able to invade you're not going to be able to invade and then back. You're not going to be able to get in really deep wards and then go back. You're either committed to one position without recalling, or you're going to go out immediately, like rush to get shallow wards and then base. And then you'll meet the wave like as it gets to the middle of your lane. It's interesting. I don't know if I like it. I kind of like to mess around in the early game and have fun.
Yeah.
I like that, but it's not necessarily bad for sure. And then the spawn time of the destroyer camp is also really interesting because they made it that surveillance camera, which is obviously desirable. But now, rather than people fighting over it being level 1 and 2, they're going to be level 3 and 4. And it's going to be after a whole lot of map movement has already happened. So it's possible to juke it out more. Because before, it's like really simple, like Krashy was saying. It's very transparent. Like either your jungler starts top, and then they go for top EMP, or they start bottom, and then they go for bottom EMP, right? It's very, very simple the way the jungle works right now.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be like that anymore, right? And there's going to be a whole lot of variations on that you can do just based on the fact that the camp is spawning later. So I like that. I definitely like that. That's cool. The drone spawn, I could take it or leave it. I would leave it, but maybe it could be fine.
I didn't actually realize that they were starting so much sooner either. Like I didn't really pick up on that. So
30 seconds into the match is really quick.
That is really quick. What is it usually? Is it usually like 50 seconds or?
In League of Legends, it's a minute 30, and I think it's a minute 30 in this game as well.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! So you can't even like get deep wards and then choose a like a lane swap if you wanted. Like there's just no way you wouldn't have time for it.
You would not.
The other thing is like.
I think on the lane swap topic, if you want to go for a lane swap, you have to decide that like while you're in champ select or load screen. Like you don't have the time in the game to decide.
So, do I not have someone that can leash me right now?
Not
would
really.
I not have that? Not really, no. I'm gonna. Well, I mean, 20 seconds. The minions are gonna get to the lane before 20 seconds. I'm not gonna have a
I don't
leash.
think so.
Which
No,
means
they wouldn't be in lane, but the person wouldn't have time to get into lane before the first drone died if they helped you.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Well,
maybe
it's the same
like
as
one shot.
Same as now.
Yeah,
No,
I mean it's
not.
the same as
10
now.
seconds.
Only
It's
Are they
10 seconds
making the
short.
jungle weaker, so it's like a little bit easier to clear to
no,
compensate?
they're
for
not.
the-
They're not. No,
The
but
time
here's what I'm.
difference- I was just gonna say that the time difference between the drone spawn and the large camp spawn is 10 seconds shorter than it was before. So you actually do have 10 seconds less time than you did before.
Well, I mean, I don't really need my detonate to contest anything right now, so I guess I'm just going to be detonating my first camp.
Yeah,
That's
I
my
think you'll
leash.
have to detonate
So-
because
It'll
Well, I
be
mean,
up
the other
before-
thing is I don't really need to be sharing any of my nerfed experience in jungle early on, anyways. So I guess what they're trying to do is, I think leashes might be irrelevant right now. I don't think I'm going to need it, and I don't think you have time for it. So I just thought about that. I don't
Yeah.
know. It doesn't really change much because, in theory, I can detonate, do a small rotation, go to my bottom, detonate, do a small rotation, and then or I don't know if I would have time for
You
that.
have
I have
time
time
for
for one
one
detonate.
detonate.
Yeah, I'll have
Yeah.
I'll have time for one detonate, start my jungle off, do some clear, and then I'll have my detonate back up by the time the surveillance destroyer's up. Okay.
With the small creature camp spawning at 1 minute into the game now, I know a lot of, or not a lot, but some bottom lanes I've watched, casting, go for IC, they'll be doing like the quad camp or like the tri camp, like in the bottom side of the jungle just to try and get that EXP lead, and I think that's pretty much gone with this change because you'll be missing like 2 drones, at least 2 drones.
I think you'll probably miss more than that.
2 or 3, because there's 4 in a wave, right?
Yes.
So,
You wouldn't be starting the camp until your waves are already meeting in the middle, or even a little bit after that. So
Yeah.
depending on how long it takes you to do the camp, you miss 2 to 3. Yeah.
So, I don't think it's worth it to do those bottom camps anymore, especially with nerf jungle EXP coming in September. I don't think it's worth it at all.
I mean, I don't mind that you're not going to be taking my camp anymore. I'm going to have more time in the early. Like, really, I have more time in the early jungle to actually go and get it. So, yeah, I don't know. I think overall, I don't know if they even intended for it to be like that, where you might not want to take that camp and you might not want to leash. But I guess it kind of lines up okay. Like, you'll actually be able to get to your lane and get the minions that are meant to be killed regardless. Like, you can't tell me that they ever intended it to be more effective to stay with your jungle and lose 2 minions in lane, but it just kind of turned out that way. So I guess this is fine. It doesn't really make that big of a difference. I think I feel what Achiri's saying more though. Like, I actually kind of am not so sure that 30 seconds is enough time to accomplish what you want in the early game. Like, what if we wanted to invade? Like, what if we wanted to invade?
You have to commit to
You have
that.
to commit
you
really
have to
hard.
hard commit, and then it still is just going to slow down everything else though, because you hard commit to the invade. Say you do get a couple kills, then you back. Everybody's late to lane.
Oh, yeah,
Everyone's
no, you
late
can't.
to lane.
Yeah.
It's
If
a
you're committing
hard
to an
commit.
invade, what it is that you have like 4 members of your team, like let's say like 4 members invade bottom side, they take that camp there and then they go to lane,
Yeah.
and your top laner is just doing his own thing. It's gonna be really tough to do anything else,
Typical
I don't
top
even-
laner.
I just don't think you'll do it. Like, I just don't. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about that.
It's
30 seconds is pretty short.
It's very, very short. Especially since drones will get to lane faster because of how they shifted the drone spawn.
Right.
So
Well, at least I don't have to worry about my top laner buying pots and whatever, and then coming to meet me at the camp. But I guess, again, that doesn't really make a difference. It doesn't matter.
okay, I think we covered pretty much everything.
Oh, there's the one thing that I still wanted to talk about that I don't know if I'm happy about with this upcoming patch. There's literally, whenever I looked at everything, I was pretty pleased with the majority of it, and then this. So there was the change about using the deployables, and that change basically, I don't even think it's set in stone yet. And I've had talks with Fantas. It's about taking damage. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Fantas already said he was removing it.
Yeah, he said he's removing it, and then I talked to him yesterday, and he said that they're keeping it. So, here's the thing. I think that there are really good ways of doing this to achieve what they're trying to achieve, and I think that this is probably the worst way that they're doing it. The thing that they're trying to achieve is they're trying to achieve steals being possible, but they're also trying to achieve those steals being counterplayed. So, like, if you swing in as Gasbat, steal something, they don't want you to be able to instantly use it. It gets, wasted, and then, that was a successful steal for your life. Or even if you get away, who knows? And what they're doing is basically you can swing in and steal something, or you can, stealth in and steal something, or contest it and steal something, and you can't use it if you've taken damage, so that way it provides you the ability to steal something, and it provides them the ability to kill you and steal it back. And that's cool. I'm fine with that. But I don't like the way it's being pulled off. Here's how I would rather see them do it. There's a couple of ways that I kind of said to Fantas that I would rather see them do it. I said, this is word for word what I sent him yesterday. I said, why not have it to where it's only unusable right after pickup? Leave the damage taken aspect out of it, so stealing is still a viable move as well as killing them to take it back. Make it unusable for, say, 3 to 5 seconds after pickup, damage or not, and then they get away free if it's theirs, and if not, then they still died and it was dropped. The other way I said that they could do it is they could make the actual drops not able to be picked up for, like, say, 3 seconds, so that way you have to fight over them first, and then kind of, like, wherever the fight leads, then you could take them and pick them up. But I guess the reason why I'm so unhappy with the way that it's going to be coming up is because it's going to affect like all of the drops, like every drop. You're not going to be able to drop health or speed or use your use anything unless you're basically damage free. And like that's the one thing that I hate about Speed Force now. Like it's already I don't know. It's just one of those like little annoyances that I guess will be okay, but I just feel like there's a better way to deal with it.
I think Fantas was on the stream. He said he was debating whether putting that on the Leviathan shield.
Yeah, I think that would be the only one exception because that's amazingly counterproductive.
Right.
Like, oh, I'm taking damage. I better use this.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I don't know. I think I need to formulate my opinion. So someone else go for it.
I don't know. I just think it's one of those changes that is awkward. Like I don't like that one.
It just doesn't. One of those things. I feel like if you're gonna steal it by getting the kill on the camp or the Leviathan, and then just have the buff spawn at base. Like I don't see why you have to walk over.
I mean, I'm fine with it. There's just a different way to deal with it other than like, this damage taking. That's so complicated. Like, maybe you've taken damage. That's, whatever, cool. But why not just change it?
The actual objective. Like, don't just let...
See, that's what I said. Make it to where you can't pick it up unless you haven't taken damage. That's what I think I said it backwards a little while ago. Make it to where if you... What I tried to tell Fantas to do was put an aura around the actual drops themselves, like the generators for them. And if you've taken damage within, say, 3 to 5 seconds, it won't let you pick it up. So that way the fight disperses.
Jungle clear. You would have to sit there for 3 to 5 seconds.
No, I just mean on the Leviathan ones. Like the Leviathan and the Raider ones. See, that's the thing. Like, I guess the drops as a whole, like in terms of consistency, they want to do something for all of them. But I actually think that's what makes it worse. Like, if we're gonna have an exception for stealing something, I guess I could run in and steal a health camp from someone. But how often is that gonna actually happen? You know what I mean? You have to go deep in jungle to steal one of the normal buffs. But stealing something like Leviathan or the Raider EMP, that's actually pretty viable. And now I think this is just an awkward way of making it viable. But now that it's, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm going to throw my life at a buff like on Leviathan or Raider, I want to be able to deny it. I don't want to throw my life at a chance that they're just going to kill me and I didn't even deny it. You know what I mean? This in my eyes makes it less viable to try to steal something. I would rather be able to run over to it, pick it up, instantly use it, and be like, hey, at least they didn't get that for my life. You know what I mean? But now there's just this weird gray area of it's affecting all the drops, and that's weird. That's just weird.
I understand making it, like, wanting to make it not too easy to steal, especially because that gives some champions, like, absurdly huge advantages. But I don't know. I wouldn't like it if it's the way they said they were going to do it, particularly because it's counterintuitive to a new player. So if someone walks into the game and they're like trying to use the deployable sometimes and it works sometimes and it doesn't work sometimes and it's just not like super clear. Yeah. Like as a new player, it could be really confusing. So I don't know. I wouldn't like it like that.
I just think it's too complicated for the sake of not stealing something. You know what I mean? Like I think it's almost like counterproductive in itself. Like just let people steal things and use them. That's that's a reward in itself. Like I would rather someone super aggro swing onto Leviathan right as we get it, pick up the shield, use it, and then run away. And I'd be like, damn, we shouldn't have let that happen. You know what I mean? Like that would comes back on you. Like, oh, I shouldn't have let that happen. I should have known.
Yeah, but in this game, particularly, like unless you have like an API, it's really hard to prevent like A-dubs from coming in the back and like jumping in and jumping out and being like.
I mean, I agree, but like, she still has to take that chance. And if she fails completely and it falls on her ass, then we just got another free kill for it. So I mean, I see that too, but I just feel like. I don't know. I just feel like it's so... I would actually just totally rather see someone do something crazy, steal, make a play, do something ridiculous that, you know, shouldn't kind of happen, I guess, and then us potentially kill them for it. But making a delay on all the drops so that way we can stop them from doing that, I think it just affects the overall gameplay a little too much for what they were trying to achieve.
I agree with you on that point for sure. I don't disagree with the concept of what they're trying to do to make it like more harder to steal, but I fully agree that this isn't the way to do it just because it has too many far-reaching implications. It's like taking a drug that has a side effect of death for a cold, you know? You know, there's no reason. Like, it's a cold, you get over it. It's not a big deal, but...
Yeah, I would rather them deal with the stealing in a different way. Like, I don't know. Like I said, the two options that I had was just make those buffs unusable for a few seconds, not because of damage, just make them unusable for a few seconds, so that way if we were able to steal, there's still a chance that they could kill us and take it back. But at the same time, if we were able to steal, I still wouldn't be able to just blow it and then run, you know what I mean? I would have to actually try to get away with it. In that sense... I think it could be decent. I think what Fantas was basically saying is that would be really complicated for them to do. So I think they want to try this out and see how it plays out. But just on pen and paper, I just don't think it's going to be that great. So it's, I don't know, worth saying that at least. I mean, I'll give it a shot, you know, because I don't really have a choice. But, you know, we just got to see, I guess. I just think, like you said, it has way too many drawbacks overall. And then, like, the other thing is, like, say I'm like, well, Fantas, it's going to delay EMPs, too. Well, he's like, oh, well, then we'll take it off of that. Well, then now we're just missing a consistency. And now we're getting in, like, okay, so, for example, let's say, like, I don't like it, and we tell them that it's bad because it delays EMPs, potentially. Then they're like, okay, well, we'll make EMPs an exception. And then let's say that the shielded is an exception. He's like, oh, well, we'll make that an exception. Well, then now we have no consistency between this one aspect of mechanical gameplay. So, like... I don't know. I think there's just too, like, again, I think it's too complicated for what they were trying to achieve to put it in this way. If they want to achieve it a different way, then I would be open to hearing it.
Yeah, again, Achiri brought this up, but it's also hard for new players to kind of understand that because, like, oh, I'm trying to activate my T skill. Why isn't it working?
Why isn't it working?
It works this time.
This game's so unresponsive.
Well, hopefully that's addressed in the tutorial that's coming.
Well, it's also really hard to, like...
It's too much to address in a tutorial. I 100% can assure you that they're not going to, like if they do add the damage delays a drop, like, they're not going to commit time enough so that a new player coming into the game, when they get in their first game and they take damage and then they can't do a drop, they're still going to be like, what the what is going on?
Yeah, well, okay, so here's like the best case scenario for the tutorial, right? Like, you gaslight Batman, you're like shooting, you're shooting the deployable, you pick it up, and the announcer person's like, great, you picked up a deployable. You can press T to drop the deployable and get something that can help you and your team. But if you take damage, you won't be able to use it for X amount of seconds.
So then they spawn in a fake Doomsday that smacks you into a wall, and then it's like, press T. Oh no, you can't.
No, but then
that's not
it.
gonna happen.
That's it. But
that's
if they do this for potentially the EMP and potentially the Doomsday Shield, like the new player is gonna be like, oh, I have the EMP. That's a deployable. If I take damage, I can't drop it. But if they add it, like the no delay on the EMP, then it's like.
And that's the other thing. I don't even know what the EMP is supposed to be right now. Like, I don't know if it's supposed to have that delay on it or not. Because if it is, like, I could literally reach out. Like, okay, say I see them with the EMP on them. I'm going to reach out and hit that one person, and then I'm going to step back. You know what I mean? Like, if I can. Say I'm a marksman, or say I'm an AP or something. Like,
you can play Aquaman and just, like, press Q and, like, hope you get lucky.
Hope you hit the EMP person, and they're like, yeah, let's siege. And you're like, oh, no, I can't.
It'll literally be, like, playing darts. But
yeah, so I don't know. I just think like this change is a little funky. That's how I'm going to describe it. It's a little funky.
Right.
And I mean, even like when we saw it like on the first live stream, Corrupt in chat was just like, no, like don't let this happen. And so I told Fantas, I was like, yeah, dude, this change, I don't know about it. And so I don't know. I think it's something that I would not like to see, but I guess we're gonna have to give it some time.
Okay. So Achiri just went somewhere. Really
Jetted
quick.
out the door.
He's just driving over to Turbine, tell them, hey.
He's like, no, that change isn't good. I gotta run out the door. No.
But I don't know. I think. All right. So I want to kind of move on to a new topic. I think that if the game is going to succeed in September, we need a really good tutorial. Because we like a lot of the old guard is left, like, you know, whatever. Who cares now? But if we need to like grow the community, and the only way we can do that is by retaining new players, and the only way we can retain new players is if we make them understand the finer details of the game. EX, you know, Raider Cam, EX deployables, EX base cams. List goes on and on and on and on. Like, as long as we have a decent tutorial, I feel like we can still, you know, grow the game.
Hopefully with less exposition than currently.
Yeah.
It's like a 10-minute tutorial and just like 8 minutes of backstory.
Yeah, it's
on Ixuotan, the
like,
monitor.
I don't okay, so as a person who doesn't read comic books, I don't care about the monitor. I care about learning about the game.
I mean, I don't know. I like it though.
See, okay,
I like that part a lot, but I guess it should be skippable. Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't.
it
should be.
I think it should be.
Make it skippable. Okay, let's agree to disagree.
But
let's
okay,
agree on
so,
this because I really like that.
Because you guys read the comics, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't necessarily read comics anymore, but I really do like the story and more.
But they do have the Infinite Crisis weekly comic available now.
Available now. You can pick it up at your local comic book
Which
retailer.
still-
trying to sell me off of having this in the game because I really liked it.
No, I'm not. I'm saying you can keep it, but
Yeah.
like
make it skippable.
yes, I can press Q and that'll use my Q ability. I can right click someone, but teach a new player how to, you know, use Raider Cam, use other deployables, like teach them what dampeners do, like teach them why we should take dampeners down, like just. It's so difficult sometimes when you get into games with new players, and we've been playing for a long time, and they just have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
They just came in because it's like, oh, it's a tri-lane.
You know what gets me the most is whenever somebody buys like a 500 item and then that's it, and I'm like,
oh yeah,
what are you doing? Like in my mind, I'm just like, What are you doing right now?
Like
Can we?
they'll just buy the nil weapon and then they'll just sit
Yep.
on the nil weapon.
They'll just buy a nil and then they'll go to lane, and I'm like, no, you're wrong.
I played
Or
with a
like-
brand new player the other day on Coast City. He's
Oh,
like, this
yeah.
is my
those are
first
my
game.
favorites.
And he played Robin. And he was 1v2ing bot lane. It was not good.
Okay, Peter brings up a good point in chat. You have to explain the story of it, and I understand that. Like, you know, I'm just saying personally, I'm like probably in the huge minority. Like, I don't care why there are 3 Nightmare Batmen or three Batmen. I just want, you know, different champions playing differently, so they all have their own niche, their own role, like their own unique kit. Like that's all I care about as a mobile player. Like I don't
Go back
care.
to League.
I don't think you need to go. I don't think you need to explain the story at all. No one cares in League of Legends why there's 10 random people in a box.
That's because those characters
forest.
don't matter. Those characters literally never existed before.
What I would do is like, you know, the first time you load up like a game, or like the first time you load up like World of Warcraft or whatever,
Yeah.
you get the intro, right? Just a really cool intro animation that's
Cinematic
maybe
for
like
this game?
cinematic. That's like 2 minutes
That would
long.
be sick
that
as hell.
explains the story. And like, if you really don't care about the story, you can skip it. But I'm pretty sure it would be hyped and everyone will watch it.
See,
That would
That
be
then
pretty
you have
cool.
the story.
That's actually a really good solution because that would be pretty hype.
Remember the open beta like trailer that we watched during the open beta
what do
stream?
you-
Yeah.
What,
Like-
you mean the one that we saw 90 times in one day? Yeah, that was pretty good.
We
This
know
is amazing.
Turbine can make like a really cool CG trailer, so if they want to do that for the tutorial and just like, you know,
Well, no, it doesn't even have to be a tutorial. You could literally open up the game, and
Yeah,
if it's
the
your
first time
first
you open
time,
Yeah.
if it's your first time, it brings up this cinematic, and you can skip it because you're a bastard. Or
And then
they have a
if
little
you're-
cinematic button.
No, you can't
at the
skip
loading on the login screen. They have a little cinematic button, and I can watch it every day.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I can
cinematic
fucking watch
button.
it every day.
You can watch it every day if you want.
No, that's actually a pretty good idea. I like that. I mean, now getting them to pay animators and do whatever they have to go through whatever process they have to get that done. I don't know if they're gonna. I don't know if that's necessarily a priority, but it would be a really good way to add story into the game without making it take up all the time of the tutorial.
yeah.
I mean, I still did like that aspect of the tutorial a lot because I felt like I felt like it was almost like I felt like I was doing like a playthrough more than a tutorial.
Right.
That was kind of enjoyable because I mean, really, let's be honest, I didn't need to do that tutorial at all. None of us needed to do it, but I still did.
Free gas vat, dude. Free gas vat.
I got him with my $100 founder pack.
Hey, me too. That I didn't pay for actually.
Well,
Thank you,
fuck
Turbine, for your
you.
giveaway.
What?
Whoa, that's mean.
Your free stuff.
So you have Arkham Batman,
I do have Arkham Batman.
and you didn't pay for it?
I did not pay. I
That
paid.
nice
oh,
white skin.
oh, I just made a cherry rage.
Oh, he just walked out. He's gone.
I think he's not going to be on the podcast ever again. Rip. See,
Welcome.
I had to win mine in like a raffle giveaway though. They didn't come to me and be like, "Hey Cal, here's your founders pack." Like,
That was
okay,
pretty, I'm not
During
gonna lie,
the
it's
day.
pretty enjoyable.
during closed beta, I was like, the only thing I was given was like beta keys to get people to play. Like, I never emailed them about like getting founders packs to give away on stream.
Yeah, I never gave away a founders pack for free. Like I know Danik had like a bunch of them. I don't know if he bought them, but he had a
Yeah.
bunch of founders packs and he just gave them all away. I don't know how that worked.
I don't know how that worked either. But yeah, so let's go back. So new players, especially on Coast City, because what map is like Coast City?
Like literally,
Like
What do you mean?
like,
like
it's the home of Green Lantern.
no,
like
I mean
I thought
like
you
what
meant, like-
map plays like Coast City in any other
None.
MOBA? None.
Which is why it's
I mean,
amazing.
Literally, I feel like Coast City is the gem of this game. I was saying this on stream last night. I was like, Coast City is the gem of this game. I love this map. It's so unique. It's so fun. I hate all of the new players on it because they don't know what to do because there's no map like this in any other MOBA ever.
Yeah. Like, I wish the tutorial that's coming would explain Coast City, but I know it's not
I
going
want
to.
to see just a Coast City tutorial map. Also, Maestro in the chat with the shots.
That was pretty funny.
Anyway,
That's so far removed from anything that I care about that I have difficulty commenting on.
Coast City?
Yeah, nobody
Or-
should care
Coast
about
City tutorial particularly.
I love Coast City.
The thing
Coast
is,
City
I
is
love
best.
Coast City. I love
fine.
Coast City. I definitely think it has a great place in this game, especially because we played it a ton. I still don't want to compete on it. I don't want to. I would just rather Gotham Divided be really, really good. So, like, when people are like, oh, we should go back to Coast City, I'm just kind of like,
The Doomsday device.
oh, it's so good.
I
It was
love
so
the
OP
Doomsday
when you
device.
could Doomsday Device people and kill them. That was good.
I used to be
That
able
was-
to, like, when Atomic Wonder Woman was released and she was, like, broken, I used to, like, 1v4 people with that Doomsday device. Oh, I miss those days when I could, like,
1v5
solo
people with
carry
Joker.
Coast City. What?
1v5 people with Joker without the Doomsday device.
Oh my god.
That's wait a minute. This is different. There's
just
something
throw
went
it-
wrong here.
You just throw down your ult and you pretty much just kill them.
I don't know. Like, people
Cal,
what's
play
up?
this video on stream. Play it. It's nostalgic.
Okay, hold on. Let me bring it up really quick.
This is old school Coast City.
Alright.
Oh my gosh, look at those item arts.
Hold on. Let me see if I can do this. Oh no. It's so I'm gonna mess up my overlay really quick. Hold on. Oh my god, I can't watch it, I don't think. Or at least you don't really see it on stream. But like, I miss this so much.
So much Doomsday. The kill on it.
The Doomsday,
Doomsday
device was so powerful.
I got a
That just
triple
looks
kill with the
so
Doomsday device.
awesome.
It was so big. Look at that. It takes up the whole lane.
I know. I used to be able to 1v4 people with the Doomsday device. Like one of my first quadra kills in this game was for me 1v4ing people with the Doomsday device. Like,
Oh my god.
I got insanely fed on Atomic Wonder Woman. I ulted into the farthest person on their team, dropped the Doomsday device, and because Atomic Wonder Woman was just absolutely bonkers on release, killed all of them by myself. And I'm like,
She's
I
still
love
pretty
this game.
bonkers.
Shh. It's like the game's worst kept secret, but don't tell anyone. I love Atomic Wonder Woman.
It's pretty grand.
But I don't know. It's Coast City has like this draw because it's like so unique, and I get that. I love that draw, but people don't know how to play it, and I get stuck with these people, and I'm like, man, I don't want
You
to.
just tell them they suck. And get better noobs.
But I
no,
can't
don't
do
be
that.
like me.
I
don't
can't
be
do
like
that.
me.
I've got this reputation to uphold. I'm not this, BM person who tells people that they're garbage on stream.
So you're not me. Darn.
Darn.
I thought we were getting close.
I woke up this morning and I checked in the mirror. I was like, thank God I'm not Krashy.
Oh man, that's me.
But no, it was like, I don't want to have to, it's so hard to teach in chat because like, I'll like get people, first time playing Coast City. I'm like, I can't
The
explain.
thing is, there's little tooltips on the side that just no one ever reads.
I
I
click on them.
Off them. Yeah, I click
Yeah.
off of them on purpose.
Well,
just wish I could get rid of them automatically.
well,
'cause I don't want
you know what to do. Everybody here probably knows what to do. But
Yeah.
a new player, they're like, oh my god, look at this map, it's so pretty. What are these things
Yeah.
on the side? I'm gonna just ignore them. Who cares? I don't have time
I'm
to
just
read
gonna
this.
stand on them for 5 minutes because I don't know what I'm doing.
Do I go
And
to
I
lane?
can't tell that nothing's happening.
I guess I go to lane. I'm gonna go to lane, and meanwhile, I'm like sitting in that top, stealth pad. I'm like watching for an invade, and I'm like, I am alone here. What do I do? Oh, look, there's 4 people walking in to get my destroyer. Team? I don't know. I really hope that in the future there will be a Coast City tutorial if the Coast City queue ever opens up. For permanent, because it's been for the past 2 weekends. I don't
Coast City
know.
or die.
I don't know if they're gonna
That's
keep it
weird,
every
though.
weekend, but every weekend's like I'd be okay with that.
I don't think
I
they
like
should.
I like the idea of like weekend stuff, but I don't think it necessarily has to be centered around a map.
Yeah.
It generated a certain amount of hype, and I like that when they generate hype. But if they make it a regular thing, it's going to generate less hype, and it's just going to make the queue times really long. So I don't think they should do it every
RIP Gotham
weekend.
Divided queues.
But if they did it something like this every once in a while, then yeah, that's great. Hype.
My queue time last night, I think I sat in queue for like 14 minutes
For Gotham Divided or Coast City?
for Coast City.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the queue times are already pretty long for Coast City.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, how
And
long?
the Gotham
when-
Divided queue times get really long too. It's just like,
Yeah.
like I said, if they did it once for the first time they did it, the queue times weren't that long, right? I was out of town, but
Yeah,
They weren't
the
that
queue
bad.
times were really short.
yeah, because there's
Well, it's
like a
because
lot of
there's
hype.
no MMR.
there's no
Hey,
MMR in Coast City?
Well, there was
No,
no
it was
restrictions. There
reset.
was just like, yeah.
No, it's just all of our elo on Coast City was reset because
Yeah.
that happened. So like when we got in there, like we were getting matched with literal like level ones,
Yeah.
and that's that's still why. Like honestly, I have a hard time having fun because it kind of gets annoying sometimes to play with someone that has no idea what they're buying and stuff.
Yeah, no, that's true. I still get people like that on Gotham Divided, and it makes me wonder what my elo is. Bozzy has a question. Is Krashy the best jungler on Surreal Gaming? And he answers his own question saying no.
I guess not. I don't know. Who's the other best jungler? I guess it's Maestro on Coast City.
Did you see King of the Crisis on Wednesday? Clearly, it's Curse Cow, best jungler. on-
Was,
Surreal
Coast,
Gaming.
was King of the Crisis Coast City this week?
No,
No, it's divided.
It was
It's divided.
divided.
No, I was jungling because I guess Crash was busy.
Oh.
Yeah. I had to go pick up a friend from the airport.
I can't, my internet keeps acting up, so I've been, like, so behind on watching, like, Kings of the Crisis and, like, the official Turbine streams and stuff. I had to wait for a VOD of the, thing, the map changes, and even then the VOD took, like, 2 hours for me to watch total because my internet was just being my internet.
You try turning it off and turning it back on.
Yeah, it was just a problem with the actual coaxial cable that I had to get a guy out to fix.
Hey, you know what? I actually thought of something really quickly. You know how you have the option to like lock your camera and unlock your camera?
Yes.
Isn't that
Dumb.
option to lock your camera like counterproductive for new players? Because anyone who wants to be good at this game, or like even if you're just a casual player and you want to get better, you're gonna have to unlock your camera at some point. Like, why do they even give you the option to do that?
But
What's the
some
point
people-
of giving the option?
Some people like playing on lock camera.
yeah, but
Well, not even that.
who is a
They-
competitive player that plays on lock camera right now?
A lot of competitive MOBA players lock their cameras intermittently. Like they move their
Like, in
camera
between,
around
yeah.
by centering it on themselves.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
like,
you
to
can,
lock
space
it
you
the
can,
down.
center,
you can do
that's
that
what
with
I do.
spacebar though. Yeah, but you can do that with spacebar. That's what I do. I don't
I
take
mean,
the
some-
extra time to find the C key.
Some people actually, well, I mean, if you're used to it, then you don't have to. Like,
Yeah.
it's not an
I think
extra
it's
thing.
just all-
But
Yeah,
they
I
just
guess.
lock it on themselves as opposed to centering it only.
Oh, I guess Maestro uses it. Okay, never mind.
I don't
never
know.
mind.
We don't know.
Teammate says he likes it. Never mind.
Yeah,
No, I don't know.
some
I
people
just,
do. I don't
just
do
feel
it.
like-
center my camera on me during
I get.
fights.
I don't know. Unless they're. I guess I don't know a lot about how other players play because I'm not other players.
Yeah.
So I guess if that option actually is used by other people for a small, like even if they just want to lock themselves in the middle of a team fight or something and keep it that way for a second, I guess they should have that option. I guess for me, I just think of new players and they're like, oh, well, this is complicated with it unlocked, so I better play my first 15 levels, my first 15 account levels with it locked, and then realize that I've been playing at a disadvantage and now I need to relearn. Because that's what happened with a lot of people that I've showed MOBAs to. Like even whenever I was like bringing players to League and stuff, they would play with it locked, and then I'd be like, "No, dude, you need to play with it unlocked." And they're like, "What? It's so complicated." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"No, it's not." But you should have been doing this. You should have been doing this the whole time though, because now you've hindered yourself.
I came from RTSs, and so I didn't even understand what a lock camera was.
Yeah, me either.
I was so
Yeah.
confused.
Yeah, League was my first MOBA, and I had people tell me to start playing it unlocked, and I was like, okay, sure, I'll do that. And then I never had to worry about the like, but why? Wow, like, ugh.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just think like in terms like because I like have you ever? I'll put it this way. I remember a long time ago I would get into Gotham Heights and someone's first thing would be like, "How do I lock my camera?"
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and I would type
I
out.
remember
I
that.
would literally bullshit and be like, "Oh, you can't in this game." I would just lie to them because I don't want them. I don't want them to learn that way. I feel bad. You can't in this game. And then somebody else would be like, it's the C key. And I'd be like, oh, really?
I remember that.
It's the C key?
I remember people, like, because when Heights was the only map, they'd be like, what's the control for camera? I'm like, C. For camera. C.
Just be like what? They should have been like, how do you lock your camera in this game? I'm like, you hold down spacebar.
I think people would have believed you too because of it's a closed
And you
beta
can
game.
do that.
It makes sense. Maybe they don't have that feature in.
Yeah.
I am streaming Go for IC today,
Woo.
but it will be semifinals and finals only.
Fozzie Lumpkins has a legitimate question in chat.
Would you be cool if they reset MMR and GD? No.
Oh. No.
No.
I'll take my 20-minute queue time.
Did you hear they were talking about doing that, right?
Were they?
Yeah, they've been talking about doing it, and I say no because no.
I would play AD carry every game. Be high CLO on the server. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah, but just
Besides
no.
Con,
Yeah, easy.
Do you get the same amount of MMR when you queue up as 5 in like GD? And
When I
as
talked to
opposed
the
solo?
devs, they told me yes. I don't know if I believe it, but that's what I've been told.
Then I don't know. Fax in chat says who has talked
I'm
about.
trying to
doing
remember
that.
his dev name. It's the MP Complete or whatever.
NPC complete.
Yeah.
Fax has got to go yell at him now.
Well, anyway, let's just talk about the implications of resetting MMR.
Right.
So, I don't think resetting MMR is a good idea, just because
Terrible
you
idea.
have people like Achiri, if I can point correctly. Achiri, you have Krashy down there, you have Nick, and you have myself. I'm like probably the lowest MMR out of everybody here, just because.
Dude, you're not even the best example. We would have just other people that literally don't even know how to play the game, and then we would get into a game with them,
Yeah.
and then it would just be chaos.
No,
For
my
like a
point
week
was,
or 2 weeks.
well, my
I mean,
point
maybe,
was,
but at the expense of, like, what's the goal? Like, to reduce queue times for, like, a little while? You know what I mean?
Maybe. But
I don't
my point was, if we all queue up solo or whatever, and we get put in different games, and we're against 5 other people who have literally no idea what they're doing, I'm pretty sure we can individually carry the 4 other people on our team who may or may not have an idea what they're doing,
That's
and just make
questionable.
well, anyway, we can make
Maybe.
the game experience bad for the new people, or the people whose
That's true.
MMRs were really bad
It'll go back.
before the reset.
It'll go back to being 5-stack CC queues where I would literally face every member of VGN by myself, and then
Yeah.
I would just rage quit
Yeah.
because I didn't want to sit there.
I literally remember I was playing Coast City one night against all 5 members of XKGBX Complexity, and I'm like, I have 4 randoms on my team. I don't want to play this because all of my lanes are going to get outskilled. I, as a jungler, will probably get invaded because
People from PAX are just now seeing our sub like as a sub emote. I forgot that Sketty and like GS haven't seen it yet.
Crashy bench or Darky bench.
Oh
Dude,
my
I want
God.
that. I want that.
Oh my god, dude! I subbed to Darky just for that. Achiri, do you know the story?
I do, yes.
Oh my god, thank you.
Stream
It's
is
the
not
greatest.
important.
It is the greatest.
I think that resetting MMR is just a very, very bad idea.
Yeah,
Terribly
no.
bad idea for the game.
Well, I mean,
I don't
fact
think it
says
would
they're not
matter that
doing
much.
it.
Yeah.
It's a
Oh
moot point.
man.
They're not doing it.
I think the best decision would just be put in ranked and get rid of normal queues.
I think you
And
should
just-
still keep normal queue.
Fuck normal
No,
queues.
yeah, you can't get rid of normal queues. Like, without normal queues, people they'll be afraid to play.
Yeah,
That's what happens.
straight up.
People get
Why
scared.
they have Gotham Heights.
Either that or you impose a level restriction, level restriction to access the ranked mode.
And then all of our queues in ranked are hour long.
Maybe
I don't
you
know,
can make it like level 15 or something, which isn't that hard to get.
I'm not gonna beat a dead horse because I've been over why I don't think it's bad that they don't have rank keys, and if they do get rank keys, I'll be happy. But like, I'm willing to wait.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I really, really want ranked, but it's not something that the game needs right now. It's
Yeah,
also not
exactly.
something I think would actually even work in the game right now.
Yeah.
But that's honesty, not what I want. What I want is ranked because I hate playing normal games all day long. What I want is to build my elo so I can put my elo in my stream title and have people come watch. Though, like
Yeah,
that's
no,
the point.
it's-
That is good stream content.
it's
You know what I
true.
mean? Like playing ranked is good stream content. But at
I
the same
completely
time,
understand. If there was a ranked option, I would be grinding ranked on stream all the time, just because people want to watch, people play ranked. And then if you are good at ranked, let's say they have the old elo system, like let's say you reach 2K elo, that's a lot. That's pretty good. People will want to watch people like, oh, he's 2K.
With our
elo.
community, with the size of our community, the maximum would be much lower than 2K.
I'm just throwing out a number as an example. Do I realistically expect people to reach 2K? No. But just as an example, if someone had 2K elo in their stream title, I'd be like, oh yeah, they'll
yeah,
probably
that's
be
what I'm
pretty
saying.
good.
Like whenever, and that's the other thing. How many times have you been asked by like a person who barely finding out about IC or like is barely joining, and they're like, "Is there ranked yet?" Like people like ranked. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's something to strive for. So whenever, even if you're like say you're a league player, you're burnt out. You hear about this game, you check it out, you see that there's ranked. It might in itself might be incentive to at least give it a try. You never know. At the same time, it might make queue times really long. So
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why I would say just get rid of normal queues and just have everyone be in ranked. Just have it just 100% ranked.
I
You can't.
don't think.
yeah, you can't do that though. I mean, I wish because it would make everybody play the same queue and then we would all be able to do that, but you can't.
Another thing about ranked that I would like is it just gives you a number indicating how good you are. So
Yes.
like right now we hear it's literally word of mouth how statistically good you are. Like
Gotta grow that E-peen.
Yeah, Khan is
Hashtag nepotism.
the best player statistically in this game, as we're told by word of mouth.
Was.
Was?
We don't know that for sure.
No.
When
At
was the
one
last
time.
time?
At
That was
one-
like 2 months ago or 3
Yeah,
that
months
was a
ago,
long
right?
That
time
was like 2 months
Yeah.
ago.
We don't know for sure that that's still true.
yeah, but
Last I checked, I was
We
in the
don't
top
know if-
15.
I don't know.
Number 12 to be exact.
I don't have any idea.
I don't know what my MMR is at all. But
I
at
think
one
when you
point,
AFK, you lose a lot, so I'm not sure. I don't really think I'm that high.
Tavi says in chat, MMR does not show skill. That is extremely true. But
Pretty sure
It's still
Khan is
something
the
to-
best
it's still
player.
something
MMR
to
is
play
still
with.
it's still a number that statistically
It's fun to play with.
shows
It's like-
your skill. It
Like, did
doesn't show you,
y'all heard about when I went on my Adventure Time battle party spree, right?
Oh yeah.
I literally
That's the
played that
first
game.
step.
I loved that game just because of the sake that I was earning something. Like it didn't even matter. I didn't care what I was, what the characters I was playing. I don't even watch Adventure Time. I don't know anything about the show.
I don't know.
But it was fun. It was fun to see myself get to 1300 and 1400 and then keep climbing this elo system. So I don't know. MMR and elo it's just a fun thing that you can put in your game whenever it's time, I guess. I don't know. It's whatever.
It's. I don't know. I really wish that once rank comes out, it is elo, and then you can see, like, give yourself a number to show what bracket of skill you are. Just
Yeah.
because I have a rough idea of where my skill level is, and I want to see if like the elo system matches up to my expectations of myself.
The only thing I'm just gonna hate is when rank comes out and then I just get like
You get
Just
the
like
Droog
last-
syndrome. You get the
Yes.
Droog syndrome.
Yep.
You get the game where all the other good people that you know and are on your friends list are on the other team, so you lose no
Yep.
matter what.
it'll just be an
So-
endless climb.
Achiri, you know who Droog is, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
reputation aspect.
Did you hear about what happened when Rank was out before?
No.
He basically kept getting on the losing team because like a lot of the more well-known players were always on the opposite team. So he dropped down to 500 ELO and couldn't even find games because he was too low. He would sit in queue for like all day and he would never get a game. That poor guy.
So like Fact said in chat, like when rank comes, you'll see your MMR. He can tell us that, so that's good. I totally had another point about ranked. Do you guys want to see duo queuing in ranked? I personally don't.
I don't, but I don't not for a very specific reason. I don't want to see duo queuing ever in ranked, but that's just because like those duo queues like monopolize the anger in the game. They fucking they get angry and then they export their anger onto one person that they feel is the reason they're losing. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that is the reason why. In terms of fun, yeah, duo queuing is pretty cool. It also provides that like, hey, I'm duo queuing with so and so. Like it provides that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know. I think it's just bad because the toxicity can go up whenever there's duos. They also like you've seen so many times in ranked league where like the duo queue is on top and bottom, and they like, oh, well, we're swapping. Like we get our roles because we're the ones that are swapping. Like they just like the duo queues have too much power. I don't like it. Yeah. It's we need some checks and balances. They're like Congress. I don't know. I don't like it.
I would definitely support duo queue, not only because I would duo with I'm going pro and be the highest elo, but also because duo queuing is much more fun than solo queuing.
See, I agree, but I get scared of the toxic duo queues. It's like when people ruin something for everybody else.
Although you also have to factor in that it could affect queue times. I'm not really sure how, but it could.
I don't know. I mean, you could always like queue snipe each other and hope to God you get on the same team. Hey, dude, you're like 1200, right? Yeah, the rank just came out. All right, let's queue together. Hey, maybe you'll get a tri-queue. Like all of Team C is on one side, like the whole team on one side versus.
Well, right now what we do is we all queue at the same time and hope we get on opposite teams, so we have good competition.
That's true. That's how you do it. I was gonna say y'all are gonna try to do that, and then y'all are all gonna get on the same team, and then on the other side is gonna be Drew.
Fact says right now we're not planning on having duo and ranked. I'm happy with that.
It's just a thing.
Well, I don't know. Because I'm mostly a solo player. Like
So am I.
I just play by myself, and if I'm against a duo queue who have voice comms, so like 2 of their members are at least coordinated, while I have 4 people running around with their heads cut off. Like,
so let me ask you this much: is it like cheating if you get in solo queue with people you know, so y'all like make a comm?
Is that
wrong?
I do that all the time.
I would do that. Yeah, I do that all the time.
I would do it in ranked if I got.
I counterbalance it by being retarded. So.
Okay, good. like being super aggro or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Because like I remember there was one time we were playing Coast City, and it was like me and Mishkit got on a team, and then Platypus and like somebody else were all on the other team, so we all just hopped in Mumble and played together. Like it was ranked, but we were all in the same channel, just for the sake of doing it.
Okay, so like rank comes out and we all queue up at the same time. We all get on the same team. Like I'll make a Skype call and I'll talk to you guys. I want to win.
Yeah, no kidding. I want to win.
But I'm not gonna like go out of my way to like, oh Krashy's in queue. Oh, Achiri's in queue. Oh, Nick's in queue. Oh, this is my chance. Like, no, I'm just gonna solo queue. So.
I'm gonna be honest. I do the exact opposite. If I see like people in my friends list like 5 stacked, I'm not queuing. Just like fuck.
Well,
that.
5 stacked. That's different.
Yeah.
I guess with solo queuing, you either just gotta risk it or wait until they're in a game so you get everybody else. Like that's your options. You can risk it and see if you get with the team that's most likely to lose or most likely to win.
A couple people in group queued. I'm just not even taking the chance.
Did you ever hear about the time that Michigan convinced the guy to quit?
Wait, what?
He was in Coast City ranked, and he convinced his teammate to quit because he thought he was gonna lose, so he dodged. He convinced his teammate to dodge because he knew that he was facing people that were good on the other team. Because they were like all in Mumble. Oh my god, it was the funniest thing ever. I think it was like me, Telekinetic, and like Platypus were all on one team, and Michigan was on the other team, so he convinced his teammate to dodge. So funny.
Okay, so I think
I don't even know how you pull that
getting,
off.
I think we're getting a little off track here, so we'll just wrap up the podcast for now. So let's do shout outs starting with Achiri.
Okay. First shout out goes to my buddy Michael. This is the cozy from his wedding. He just got married. His younger brother is Swagatron33, who I think he's playing with Justice today, and he's looking for a team. So congratulations to my buddy Michael, and first and foremost, shout outs to him. Shout out to both Curse and Team C. Let's see, Curse sponsors Cooler Master, Intergyms, Alienware, Astro Headsets, Loot Crate, Curse Voice, Law Class, Nissan, Azubu, Scuff Gaming, Absolute LoJack, G2A. Good stuff. Check them out. Also, keep your eye on the Twitterverse, on the Redditverse for more changes from Curse and C. An announcement, hype. Just keep your eyes peeled.
What?
Fucking
They're
spaghetti.
merging. They're gonna be one team.
Do you want to hook me up with some Energems, bro?
They're gonna
I
have
heard
5
they're good.
subs.
Wanna hook me up with
Yeah,
some
actually,
Nissans?
everyone tells me that they're like amazing. We don't get Nissans. We get Energyms.
Yeah. Dude, if you
They
want to
need
hook
to
me
just-
up with some Energems, definitely do that. Nick, let's move on to you.
I got nothing. But I am not in my car this week, so that's a plus.
Shout out to Nick's car.
Yeah, shout out to my car, which is just happens to be a Nissan.
Yeah, Nissan,
So-
great cars. Probably the best brand
Yeah,
of
they're
car.
great.
Sponsoring them esports, dude.
Yeah, so Nissan, if you want to throw me
Good-
some
good for
free
Nissan.
stuff, just feel free.
Some stream giveaways from Nissan.
We've got a carburetor here from Nissan giveaway on stream.
I was so tempted to commentate that.
If you want to win this carburetor, type exclamation point
Yes.
raffle into the chat.
I'll also be in Genfo's 1v1 tournament tomorrow. If
Ah.
tomorrow is Monday.
Tomorrow is Monday.
Yes, and I think I'm going to be guest casting also.
Oh,
Never before done.
wow.
Playing and casting at the same time.
Man, that's cool.
It's next level.
Take you right in the action.
Oh god. Okay. Krashy.
Shout out to Droog. Hard,
500
Hard-
MMR.
yeah, that 500 elo, those struggles. Shout out to the infamous Tugi and Genfo for being Maestro's girlfriend, and then shout out to SG and all of our support and stuff.
Do you know your
Oh yeah,
SG
shout out to
sponsors?
SG. They did well in King of the Crisis on Wednesday. I don't know who that guy who was jungling for them was, but he was mighty handsome.
He was mighty handsome. I heard stories.
Does Surreal have sponsors?
We do.
Yeah.
I don't know off the top of my head.
Oh, that
I knew-
Gamebox? Gamebox,
Yeah,
right?
Gamebox. Shout out to
Gamebox?
Gamebox. There's some other ones, some new stuff.
Okay. So it's my turn. All right. So
Product Esports, WT Fast, Corporate Designing and Housing,
See, look,
and Jazzwares.
what?
Look at
What
that.
are those?
Dude, they're
Don't worry
the
about it.
best. Yeah, don't worry about it, man.
Those like jazz hands.
Oh my gosh! Shout out to the greatest Bozzy Lumpkins.
Oh man,
Oh.
dude, how did you guys not shout him out?
Shout out to Darky Bench.
Okay. Okay. So I'll do my shoutouts. So shoutouts to Nick, Achiri, Krashy. Thanks for coming on, guys. Shoutouts to everybody in the chat. You guys watching this make it worth it. There will be a VOD up on YouTube probably tomorrow. Shout out to Bozzy Lumpkins. He's the best. Shout out to Darky. You guys should sub to Darky so you can get that awesome Darky Bench emoticon. If I had a spare $5, I would totally do it, but I
Darky
don't,
Bench.
because Darky Bench is like the greatest emoticon I've seen on Twitch that you can buy for $5 a month. Especially since I think I took the picture that immortalized the Darky Bench.
Let me. I have to find that.
So yeah, other than that, guys, I can't really think of anything. So thank you guys for watching, and the VOD will be up on the YouTube. Oh, Twitter. I have to shout out Twitter. So if you want to follow Podcast Prime on Twitter, you can do that. Twitter.com
Oh, can I
slash
continue
podcast.
my shout out?
Oh, fine.
Shout out to Spaghetti for keeping the potential complexity comeback dream alive by
Oh.
still paying attention to IC.
Oh.
Even though he's too busy now in the Heroes of the Storm
Oh.
world.
He's
with
got
his
that one.
Alpha.
He's got that one master skin.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
tweeting about. I see it
Oh, yeah.
on the Twitter sphere.
And also YRN,
Oh.
which I can't say the acronym of because that would be inappropriate.
All right. So anyway, if you want to follow Podcast Prime on Twitter, twitter.com/podcastprimeic. You can follow us there, and I always tweet out when the show is, who will be on the show, when it goes live, stuff like that. You can follow each of us on Twitter just by looking at our Twitter tags under our names. You can follow us on Twitch. Oh, I think Achiri needs to stream on Zubu now because he's got that
Oh,
Young Curse
awkward.
sponsorship.
So he will not get any viewers.
So, you can
Oh,
follow,
okay.
I don't know.
Yo,
if
Zubu's
you
got
wanna-
that quality, all right.
Yeah,
Listen up.
Zubu's got
And you know,
that nice
What about
500
this
viewer
muting?
base.
What about this muting bots? All right, I don't know about that. That's not a Zubu, you know.
So anyway, you can follow Nick on Twitch at Nick3570, twitch.tv/Nick.
Yes.
Nick3570. Krashy, twitch.tv/Krashy, and me, twitch.tv/BladeLordCal. I don't know what Achiri's is, because
My what?
you're
Cow
you're a Zubu.
Starcraft.
Is
Oh
yours,
yeah, Cow Starcraft.
it's-
You're Zubu Stars, Cow Starcraft?
Oh, my Zubu. Yeah, it's also gonna be. Well, actually, I don't know.
Or is it
Just
just
don't worry about it. Just show
Yeah, it's
Okay.
undecided.
He'll tweet it out probably if he does that. So thank you guys again for watching. The next episode will be on the 24th, which is the day before my birthday. Woo!
And probably be talking about the August
Wait,
pack.
really? You're the 25th, dude. I'm the 24th.
Dude, you know what?
Oh my god!
My ex-girlfriend was the 26th,
Oh my God.
so that I'll never forget that. It's
Oh,
just
well,
too
we'll
coincidental.
We'll never forget your
Oh,
birthday.
awkward.
Her birthday. It's
Oh.
it's just too coincidental, dude.
Me and Tugi's birthdays are 1 month apart on the same date. Mine's in December, hers is in January.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So
My birthday is in November, if anyone cared. Thanks for asking.
So yeah, I should end the stream because we did chats. Okay, thank you guys for watching. VOD will be up on YouTube in the next 24 hours.